Hello and welcome to the Let's Talk HR show with myself, Jacknolan, and Sanjeevan Chahala, our HR professional who is spending some time with us today, giving us his insights and thoughts on HR and all things mental health. Sanjeevan, to you.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for introducing me, and I'm looking forward to going for some questions.
Brilliant. So what does HR mean to you, Sanjeevan?
For me, the reason why I got into HR and what it does mean for me is just connecting with people and helping to be that supporting person for other people within the business and organization that I work for.
That's brilliant. So you're like a leader, aren't you? You know what I mean? It's like you're their go-to, big brother or father figure to some of them employees in there. So that's brilliant. Like, it's good that you've got that about you, because some people might be afraid of them roles. You know what I mean? But it's good that you embrace the role that you are within, to be able to give as much value and positivity and development to those in your workforce. So what inspired?
Definitely helping with this, like being able to mold and kind of develop some kind of strategy as well to make a lasting impression on people as well. Really helps, I think, within HR.
That's brilliant. We're going to be talking a little bit about strategy later as well, so I'm glad that you've mentioned that. So what inspired and influenced you to work within HR?
So for me, it was a bit of a different journey. I actually started off in operations and started off working as a kind of like an area manager, team leader type role within the organization that I work for, and then moved into HR. I think for me, what inspired me about going into HR was just kind of the ability to use my skill sets as a leader, but to focus on kind of the people experience and people kind of like, I don't know what the word is now, I've lost it, but like the kind of people management side of things instead of focusing on the operation. And I could use the skills that I did have and work more closely with the people that really mattered.
That's brilliant, Sanjeevan. So why did you choose to work at your current organisation?
So for me, I think it's kind of the culture and the kind of emphasis that we put on leadership principles here at Amazon that really encouraged me to get into the company that I worked for. Very fast paced, always changing, and really focused on customer. That was what really motivated me to join the company.
That's brilliant. Like being part of like a fast-paced culture and fast moving, everything's evolving very quickly. Amazon are a cutting-edge company, I believe. You know what I mean? And it's really good to see that someone like yourself is a part of that company, leading the charge, leading the development, pushing things forward, like Leonidas in the Spartans. You know what I mean? Like being that king almost in terms of leading the people and the people in that culture within that environment and that ecosystem to say, listen, let's have it. You know what I mean? In other words, let's smash it. Let's really go for it and push the boundaries of what can be achieved. So that's awesome, dude. So my next question is, how important is mental health and emotional well-being of the workforce?
I think for me, it's the most important thing, especially when you work in a fast and paced environment. It's always good to take some time to step back and reflect on what you've achieved and what you've done, but also to take that mental break because it can be quite demanding, especially when you work for a company like Amazon. And it's, like I said, quite fast paced. So one of the most important things and something that we really advocate for in the team that I work in, for sure.
That's brilliant. So would you say that it's similar to being like a professional athlete where, like, say Michael Jordan, when he's playing for the Bulls, it's very fast paced. Everyone's got to be on the key. If someone's a bit slower, it can affect the whole, again, that ecosystem. I'm going to keep using that word a little bit, just of group, to make sure, like, if someone's slipping, then it's that accountability and that moral accountability to be able to say, listen, come on, let's do this. You know what I mean? But if they have got a major problem going on in their life, that stress, that personal problems, because we've all got problems in our lives, we're all spinning plates. You know what I mean? It's good to be able to connect and have that empathy, to be able to say, come on, what's going on? Let's support each other so we can overcome these obstacles and challenges, and further both our developments in the process of becoming our best selves within the company and the workforce. So that's really amazing to hear. Another question that I've got is, what strategy? Oh, we've done that. We've talked a little bit of strategy. We've talked a little bit on that. But in your experience, what have you found creates great leadership within your teams?
Listening, I think, and it's important to actively listen, just not normal listening, and just hearing individuals out first before you input and try and make suggestions. And I think another thing as well is kind of encouraging individuals to come up with their own solutions to problems instead of you feeding them. And it definitely helps kind of focus people on being active within fixing problems instead of just coming to you with problems, and they give you
Yeah,
solutions instead. I think especially with the listening part of it as well, if you're hearing and kind of signposting people and actually kind of listening to what they are talking about, it helps with that mental health piece as well.
that's brilliant, and it's really good to hear that, because, like, in a team, you're going to have all different people at different levels and different stages, and it's good that you've got that active listening ability to be able to hear what is going on the ground as well as what's going on upstairs. You know what I mean? Because how can you, like, keep your people, not only in check, but how can you push them forward in a positive way if you don't know what's going on? You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's having that awareness of what's going on, that self-awareness within each individual to be able to pass that on to say, listen, let's go out there strong. Let's keep the ball moving, because if the ball stops moving, it's going to affect everybody. It's going to affect wages possibly. It's going to affect, employee development. It's going to affect the whole circle that we're all involved within that workforce. So again, like, credit to you there. You said you bang on it. I'm just trying to say I agree with you in a simple way, but I ramble on too much. I think that's probably why I've started this podcast, as I don't shut up sometimes, as you can probably see on the socials. But again, just another question is, like, what advice would you give to someone who's, like, starting out in HR, who might be listening to this show right now thinking, how can I become the next Sanjeevan Chahal? You know what I mean? What's that the rules essentially for the success as a HR leader?
I think for me is don't shy away from the challenge, embrace it, jump straight into it, um, and also don't be afraid to ask the questions and challenge, because um, not everything's done for the right reasons. Challenge it, ask why, and really get the understanding of why it's done, and make suggestions yourself as well. Like I said, don't shy away from the challenge, embrace it, and try and fix as you go along.
That's brilliant. So again, like, some young people coming into organizations might be a bit insecure, a bit scared, a bit nervous, a bit fearful. So is there any, like, examples you can give me of when you might have experienced being a bit afraid, and how did you overcome, putting your hand up and saying, hey, I know the answer to this question? You know what I mean? It's like being in school again sometimes, but how did you overcome them hurdles?
For me, I think the hardest hurdle probably is more talking and working alongside senior stakeholders, because a lot of the time they are seen as the people that know all the answers and have all the suggestions. But I think it's kind of doing it in a one-to-one situation first. So building that rapport with that senior stakeholder, and then giving certain suggestions in maybe a one-to-one environment. And then that kind of makes you understand, like, the way to approach the situation in groups. And then once you kind of have that understanding, you kind of feel a bit more relaxed, and you're able to have that kind of not trying to think of the right word, like confidence to
Yeah,
speak up in larger groups, because you know that you've got that rapport with that one senior stakeholder maybe, and they can try to advocate for you and the suggestion that you have as well.
that's brilliant. So you'd encourage people to sort of network in a way with their own employees and create
Yeah,
that community of, like, trust, bonding, checking in with each other, seeing what's, even things what are going on in people's personal lives. For example, what you're doing at the weekend, who's going to this pub, who's going to that thing, who's doing this thing, and then who's going to be back in on Monday, who's ready to smash it. You know what I mean? So I really love that. I really do. And it's taking that courage as well in it to be able to stand up and
yeah,
say, I'm a baby leader right now because I'm leading
yeah,
myself, but how do I become a bigger leader to say I'm going to lead others as well? And it's that courage of that communication, like I said, to be able to communicate your ideas clearly, concise, and efficiently, to be able to say, this is where we are, this is where we need to be. I've learned this from Sanjeevan, I've learned this from the next boss, I've learned this from the other boss. How can I bring value to the boss as well as solutions to moving forward? So again, I couldn't agree more with you there. Thank you for your time, Sanjeevan. I know it's been short and sweet, but I'm conscious of time just because of what we've both got spinning plates again with other things going on.
Yep.
But again, I want to say thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. And for those audience members listening in, how great has Sanjeevan been? You know what I mean? Like, he's got so much wisdom to share with everyone who's listening in. So again, thank you for those who are listening in. And I'll see you again soon in another podcast, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you again soon. Take care. Take it easy for now. Remember, you can become anything you want in life. Stay strong.